So I want to make this a part two to This World Doesn't Make Sense. I talked a couple of times where on the other channel and this channel about we are pretty much in our own universe. I saw another lady's thumbnail saying, what if we are in our own universe? And it's something that I've known for a little while, but it hasn't been cognized. And the reason why it hasn't been cognized is because for most of us, I'll say, even though this could be known by a lot of people, a lot of folks don't operate in the way that they realize you're in your own universe. A lot of people don't operate in that way. Because if a lot of people operated in that way, that means that somewhere they agreed to a lot of stuff that's going on. I'm talking about stuff that don't even happen in their own personal life. A lot of stuff that I said on my last upload about the world is no longer making sense. A lot of stuff that I said doesn't even happen in my personal space. So now it's about what do we choose to give attention to? Because it's like whatever we choose to give attention to is what we welcome in our reality. But is that true? Because as much as I don't watch the news and whatever else, well, yeah, it does make a difference. Here's why. Because like a year ago, and less than a year ago, I've been hearing all about this stuff about disease X. I've never clicked on one video or looked at one little thing, even on TV, to know even what disease X was. Till this day, I don't know what disease X is. I've seen disease X all over the place. I never clicked on it to see what it is. Because when you look on the internet, you got a bunch of people in different realities. You got a lot of people in their own different realities. Like that lady was talking about, what if we are in our own universe? You got a lot of people in their own universe. I'm not clicking to hear what these people talking about. Say, you know how some people like to give the news, say, I'm just about to tell you what's going to happen. Okay, that might happen in your world. Because everybody have their own reality. And the thing is, some people see it happen because they accept other stuff out, and they accept an outside source as the news instead of letting yourself give the news of what's going to happen. Instead of letting yourself predict what's going to happen. Something else has already controlled the timelines. But a lot of us, even if we know that we are in our own universe, a lot of us don't fully operate in it because, I mean, would you like to go around wearing face masks all the time if that ever comes back? Or other things. Do you like corruption? The stuff that you see with corruption? So a lot of times we think life is just happening and life is just life and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, now this happened, I'll let you do this. And sometimes life is unfair. Sometimes something happened to you and then there's no justice. So now you got to just deal with it and get therapy for it. I'm going to tell you something. There's no therapy for constant injustice, for someone constantly taking from you. Whether it's physically they took something from you, like physically assaulted you, or they took monetarily, they took something from you, whether they took your family for you, and you constantly continue to have stuff taken from you, there's no amount of therapy that's going to help that. Because you're always at a loss. Your life is just a loss. Like you're just I don't mean this in a bad way, you're just a loser. There's no therapy for being a loser. I don't mean that in a bad way, like negative, to call somebody a loser. But when something is always constantly being taken and there's never any justice, your life is basically, you're a loser. And I don't mean that, I said that already. I don't mean that to be nasty. You're a loser. There's no therapy that's going to help. Nobody that you can talk to. The only body that you can talk to is somebody that's going to be on your side and somebody that's going to help you get what belongs to you. That's the only justice you're going to get. Other than that, there's no therapy that can convince you that it's okay to constantly be taken advantage of in any kind of way. There's no therapy that's going to convince you to keep getting over it. There's no therapy. So it gets to a point, here's where I'm going with this. I'm not being a victim here. I'm not like giving that much of passion to be a victim. Point I'm making is like it's time to be aggressive on making the reality that you or I want to see. It's time to be aggressive in it. I don't want your COVID no more. I don't want to wear face masks everywhere I go. I don't want all this doggone corruption and all this crap going on where I have to obey the law, but then because that person is an important person, they get to do whatever the heck they want to do and it don't matter. What if I decide I want to sing? What if I want to be an actress? Well, you can't make it big because you got to do X, Y, and Z. You need to get on the casting couch if you want to make it big. So F your talent, even if you do have talent, which right now people don't really have talent these days, okay? People used to have talent. Now it's not required to have talent. But even when the people who did have talent, it wasn't enough. They had to go get their butt on the casting couch. It wasn't enough. I don't want that reality. I reject that reality. So what I'm saying is, yeah, a lot of people are aware that, yeah, we are in our own universe. But at the same time, a lot of us are not really, it's not cognized. Unless you like stuff like that. Unless you want a robotic president. Unless you want a president as a robot. And too many people are accepting this guy as the president. When I haven't even watched him I haven't even seen him swear in because I don't think he did. I have not once looked at this guy, this current president. I have not once looked at him because I don't think he's real. I can't pay him any attention because not because I don't like him. I don't care. Because I believe it's all a game anyway. So I don't care about liking him or disliking him. I don't think he is real. I don't think he's real. But there's too many that I'm seeing that can know that many people by this time has called him a robot. But then turn around and say, well, Biden doing this and Biden doing that. Well, he ain't himself. Is he even in that body? He's not there. Who's doing that? Because he ain't in there. You see, people are knowing this stuff is something ain't right, but they just go along with it. It's like you keep going along with this stuff because you think it's the way it is. You're going to end up being a robot. The fact that you have a robot president and you know he's a robot, that's already desensitizing you to the fact to get ready for what's coming up in the world. Get ready. It's going to be all robotic, and I've already seen it. Yeah, people are robots and don't realize they're robots. Let me just go on and say it. In fact, let me confirm it. Let me get some stuff out the way here. Hold on a second. Sorry. Making all this noise. People keep talking about what's coming. We get ready for this. No, you're going in time loops. This stuff is happening time and time again, and you keep repeating the time loop. And then, when you come to this time again in a time loop, after I don't know how many loops that you do, you're going to say the same thing that you're saying today. Oh, get ready. Yeah, you said that about 8 loops ago. You said that 9 loops ago. You said that before, and you say you think keep happening because the consciousness is not rising above that peak. It's like you go so high, you hit this wall and say, get ready, it's coming. You bounce all the way back because you can't get past that wall, that mental block that keeps you from going beyond the loops. And so it never comes. And it's been looping the same thing that's being said over and over again. But anyway, hold on a second. So, more than 90% of people are robots. And don't know they're robots because they look in the mirror and they think they're looking at a human being. You got to be careful what you keep agreeing to. I feel like all this happened since COVID. Since, I know we're not allowed to say that word. I don't know why, but whatever. It's their platform, so they want to act funny about that. But all this crazy stuff I noticed happened ever since 2020. I saw humanity. I saw that humanity were no longer going to be humans any longer. I saw that they were going to be something else the during the year of 2020. Yeah. Um, yeah. People are robots and don't realize they're robots. There's a way to get beyond that, but it's like you got to get to a point where you don't accept what's given to you, and it's almost like you got to be aggressive with how you want this reality to be. And if you don't want to keep seeing this craziness going on, like it gets crazier and crazier and crazier, and if like it gets to a point where, like I said, okay, this ain't making sense no more, because now I'm to the point of subhuman. You can't listen. You reach the point of subhuman where you become a robot, and most people are robots, but over 90% of people are robots and they don't know they are. They're like a Joe Biden and don't know they're a Joe Biden. They're robots. The fact that you got a real robotic president and a lot of people know that he's a robot, and people just seem to just go on and act like, oh yeah, we know he's a robotic president, but anyway, whatever, let's complain about him like he's really in his body. You accept that you become a robot too. Like, I don't accept this president because he's not real. I don't accept him because he ain't real. Not because there's something about him I don't like, because he ain't real. I get that this is a simulation, but come on now. Even in the simulation, it needs to be believable. This ain't believable no more. I'm like, now you get to the point where this ain't believable. I can't do it. It's getting to the point where it's unproductive, it's unbelievable, it don't make no sense. I respect a dog and a cat. I see feral cats around here. I respect them. I'm starting to respect them more than I respect human beings. Well, human beings don't exist anymore. They think they do, but they're really robots. That's what they don't know. I think you in Mr. Musk's world, M-U-S-K apostrophe S. Mr. E. Musk. I think this might be his little world, and he's, Now you got to a point where you can't keep accepting this kind of stuff, And I'm to the point now where I want the world to be exactly how I want it to be, because this is my universe. So you want to shape the world into what you want to see. Okay, I seen this. It can get worse. I don't need to see worse. There could be a version of you that exists in an existence way worse than this right here, and you don't want your consciousness to go that way. So, a lot of people don't know that consciousness has been taken below ground. A lot of people's consciousness, they have been taken below ground, and they don't know they're underground. They don't know they're in the underworld. I mean, I've seen it. And that's why probably things keep getting bad, because it's like you go to one underworld to another underworld to another underworld to another. And you're in so many levels of the underworld. It keeps getting worse and worse. And now we're at a part of the underworld where it's just straight robots. Really? I don't want to go any lower than that. Let's go on the rise back on up. I don't want to go any lower than that. I don't want to transition in a world of a reality where everything is robots. People are robots too, and they think they're human. I don't want to even try to transition that kind of world, because you're going to be where your mind is. You're going to be where your conscious awareness might have been. Or you could be taken somewhere else if you're not in control. If you're not in control of your own consciousness, of your own conscious awareness, if you're not in control of it, something else can control where it goes. And it could go to a much worse world, right? It's crazy. But I just feel like talking about that again, now that I do realize that I am in my own universe, and I can tell by certain things I do how I'm able to control it. Now that I know that, it's really time to take control of it, completely take control of it. Don't take anything less than what I want out of this universe. Nothing less. Let me tell you something. This is going to sound wrong. I don't care who gets hurt. And the reason I say I don't care who gets hurt, not because I'm going to hurt somebody that didn't do anything to me, but I'm talking about people, especially family, who have taken from me in the amount of 6 figures, to the point where I could have a much better lifestyle and not have to work as hard if that hadn't happened. I'm talking about that kind of stuff. I'm to the point where I'm going to make a reality where I get everything that belongs to me, that's supposed to be mine, and I'm taking it back, and I don't care who gets hurt. I can't be worried about that. So I can't be worried about fatalities when it comes to what belongs to me. Because the people who took from you, they didn't think about who could have been hurt. They didn't think about their family. They never thought about consequences. So then I can't worry about whatever consequence is going to come about when I take what belongs to me. I can't be worried about that. And that is something that I actually admire about people who are dark, like dark feminine, dark masculine. That is what I admire about people like that, is when it comes to them taking what belongs to them, they're going to take it, and they don't care about your feelings or however you feel about it. They don't care about who gets hurt. Because if you took from me, or you took from somebody, and you didn't care about their livelihood, you didn't care about their suffering, you just cared about greed, then when they come and get their stuff back, it shouldn't matter if a little child gets hurt. Like if you take what belongs to you back from a person, but they just happen to have a little small child, and then the child gets affected because, well, that's not, it's like, this is where I like the attitude of the dark feminine, dark masculine, the whole dark attitude. Like, you can't be worried about that. You can't be worried about collateral damage. Like, you can't be worried about collateral damage. That, like, whatever, okay, that's not my problem. And that's what I like about people who think like that. Like, okay, you got a child, but you still stole money from me to the point where it's going to be hard for me to retire. I have to work forever because you stole money from me. I can't worry that you got a mouth to feed. You should have thought about that before you steal from other people, because you stole from other people not knowing what trouble you were causing in their lives. You stole from them. So now when it comes to your child, ain't nobody obligated to think about your child but you. That's it. Or your nephew, or whoever, or your mother. You could be taking care of your mother, or whatever. I'm not obligated to care about that because you didn't care about me. I need to get what belongs to me, and I can't even afford to care about who gets affected in your life because I'm taking something that belongs to me. I'm taking it back from you. I can't worry about who gets affected around you because of that. That's your problem. And I do admire that people with that kind of personality that just do not care. Like, you got to get to a point sometimes. You got to get to a point where you just do not care. Period. Because the first person you're obligated to care about is yourself. And if you don't care about yourself enough to get what belongs to you, and I'm talking to myself too. I'm not just talking to the audience. I'm talking to myself too. If you don't care about yourself enough to get everything that belongs to you, there's no way you're going to be able to care about a child or anybody else until you learn to care about yourself. And that's just it. Can't care so much about somebody else being hurt that you constantly allow somebody else to walk all over you and your life turns to crap. You know how I say you can't love anybody else until you learn how to love yourself? You can't care about anybody. I don't care if it's an infant. You can't care about anybody else until you learn to care about yourself first, and that's just it. But anyway, I feel like talking about that again. I'll talk later.